Welcome back to another episode of the Happy Clients Podcast. Today, I have invited one of our agency partners, Janak, on the podcast to talk all about the struggles that agency owners have as they are scaling their media buying team. So if you're growing and scaling your agency and you might be stuck saying, how do I get out of this role? Or how do I find amazing media buyers? This episode will teach you everything you need to know. So before we dive right in, I want to fill you in on CAM Community. This is our membership exclusively for account managers. So maybe you have account managers on your team, or maybe you are currently hiring. We want to give them access to all of the tools that our own team have access to. So you can learn more about CAM Community and get access to all of our training programs, all of our SOPs, and most importantly, access to a community where they can ask any question over at dotandcompany.co/CAM community. Okay, let's get into the episode.
Welcome to the Happy Clients Podcast, brought to you by Dot and Company. Whether you're a virtual assistant, an agency owner, or a client-facing account manager, we all deal with clients. Lucky for you, client management is what we do best. Now, let's dig in, chat cam life, and have some fun along the way. Cheers to happy clients.
Well, Janak, welcome to the Happy Clients Podcast. We've been trying to have you on for a very long time, so I'm excited that it finally worked out.
Happy to be here, Taylor. Yes, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, awesome. So obviously Janak, he is a very well-known agency owner in the space, and you've been around the block for a while. So you know what it's like to not only start an agency, but to scale an agency to kind of where you are today. So Janak, why don't you kind of fill our audience in? How did you start an agency? And of course, like how you got here 10 years later.
Awesome. Well, that's a bit of a journey I have taken personally, and I don't recommend everyone goes through my journey, but this is my journey. I'm going to share this with you. So based on my accent, you probably have figured out that I didn't grow up here. I grew up in a country called India, and I came to the United States to do my master's at Carnegie Mellon Computer Science, Electrical Engineering, and Business School. So my path was to, essentially get my master's, do a corporate job, get a PhD, and start my high-tech company. Now, due to unfortunate events, I guess after 9/11, I had a job. A job was working at Bell Communication Research Lab, and after 9/11, they laid off 90 scientists, and I was one of them. And that really opened up my eyes and brains to the reality of corporate America. When they need you, they roll out the red carpet. When they don't need you, they kick you out. Fair enough. So my conviction to start my own company, became even more stronger. But back then, didn't have enough cash, courage, or credit, so I was still looking for a job. Ford Motor Company hired me, but within literally 1 year at Ford Motor Company, I realized that, listen, I need to start my own company, right? And since I didn't have the PhD, I felt like I couldn't start a tech company. Again, limitations, right, in my thinking. But as a luck have it, I saw a newspaper, Detroit Free Press, Sunday newspaper, and I saw an ad, the centerfold, and the ad was essentially asking me, do you want to be the next millionaire? Because this guy named Robert Allen wants to create 1,000 new millionaires. And I was like, okay, yes, of course, why not, right? So I go to their free 2-hour event, which happens to be literally right next door to Ford Motor Company's headquarters, where I used to work. And from there, we joined their programs. Within 6 months, we essentially spent close to $70,000 in all the programs they had. But then the end result of that, within the first 18 months, we bought and sold $2.4 million worth of properties, made some money, and that became the start and the beginning of my entrepreneurial career. Right now, as any entrepreneur, once you start becoming successful, what do? You want to do more and more stuff, right? So that's exactly what we did. We started coaching and consulting based on the success of what we had. And there was this missing piece. The missing piece was marketing. So then we started learning marketing from other marketers. I'm talking about, this is back in 2005, where we got exposed to online marketing through all the online gurus, which, Russell, Ryan, Frank Kern, all of those big names. And we also got introduced to Dan Kennedy, and that really opened up a lot about, and I started learning about direct response marketing. And we really got good at doing marketing. And we used to fill our seats at our monthly regular meetings we would do at our real estate investment club in Michigan. I'm talking about not just 100 people, like 200, 300 people, 400 people, we would fill every single month. And all the speakers who would fly in from different parts of the country, they would fly in and they say, my goodness, how are you filling these rooms? Well, we do marketing. And then, we used to do online PR and SEO and a little bit of paid advertising. And that really opened up doors for us to, by 2007, we were getting all of this requests from all the speakers, and we decided to start our own marketing agency. So that's my journey to start my marketing agency in 2007. But as we all know, since 2007, a lot of things have changed in the marketing game, right? So we were doing a typical digital marketing agency work, which is, you get their presence, online presence, website design, development. You do SEO, so start getting some traffic, do email marketing, then organic social media marketing. We started doing paid advertising. So we're essentially doing a lot of things for a lot of different niches. And between 2007 to 2014, that was the growth. As a digital marketing agency owner, the biggest frustration is, client acquisition, client retention, and then fulfilling those clients, right? And so I felt that we were struggling to fulfill on all the different aspects of running an agency. And in 2014, I read a book called Built to Sell, and the book talked about how to productize your service-based company. And in that, essentially talked about how to go all in on just one thing you are good at, right? And that's what we did. We stripped everything else. We focused on, paid media, and we started building in-house team versus, building team outside, and there were contractors and, all of that. So that was the biggest shift for us. And since we have built our team, now we have a team of 32 members. We have managed over $75 million worth of ad spend combined. We help our clients essentially scale their campaigns, get them more leads, get them more sales. And we run campaigns on multiple different channels: Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest, and more. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey from where we were, what we were doing. Just this year, we found out that we are number 127 on Inc. 5,000 regional list. And then also we have our company as a whole. Obviously, we have helped our clients get lots of 2 Comma Club and 2 Comma Club X. We have one client that 2CC, which is $25 million award. And then 2 of our clients actually have gone public and or going public. So yeah, I know it's been a great journey for us. And my dream was coming from India was to, be rich, right? And of course, is once you have certain level of success, the money doesn't drive you anymore. What drives you is creating more impact. And that's been the journey of sense of security or the wealth or the richness to sense of creating impact and creating fulfilled life. So that's been the journey of in last, I would say, 15 plus years.
Wow. Congratulations. Yeah. That's incredible what you've done, over the last 15 years. And what's quite interesting is that, when this journey started, it was because an ad that said, "Do you want to be a millionaire?" And you were like, "Yes, that is me." And now look where you are and you're like, that's not what I'm chasing anymore. I'm chasing something bigger. So I think that's really cool. And I think a lot of agency owners go through that journey and kind of figure out what's actually important. So I love that kind of distinction. So obviously growing an agency is a lot of work and there's a lot of ups and downs, especially as you go from what I find is a couple of team members to that big team. And so a lot of the agencies that we work with, when our account managers are working in an agency, they struggle with finding good people to do aspects of the business. So for example, media buying or creative strategy, they struggle to find somebody to replace them in that seat. So obviously you've done this, but what advice do you have for agency owners who are thinking, okay, I want to take my agency to the next level, but I don't know how to replace the media buying / strategist seat?
Good question. So I'll tell you what we have done. So when we decided to go all in on media buying, we actually started with, this is back in 2014, if I remember this correctly. After reading that book, it was like a light bulb moment for me. And I was like, I need to really figure this out if we are going all in. Because I don't believe that I can do everything on my own. And it was just my wife and I back then. We were doing everything on our own, right? And starting with, getting clients, talking to them, essentially selling them, and then, getting their onboarding document, writing ad copies, building creatives, then sending it to them for approval. Then we would get feedback, make some changes, launch campaigns, then manage campaigns, optimize campaigns, scale campaigns, reporting, communication on Slack, and then do the cycle for not just in one client, multiple different clients, right? So as you can imagine, that becomes very exhaustive. So I knew that I could not go beyond 7, 10, maybe 12 clients managing between my wife and I. So we obviously were hitting that threshold, and we stepped back and we realized that we need help. So the first thing we did was, okay, out of everything we do in our company, is there a step-by-step process? Well, there is a step-by-step process, but everything was right here, right? So I literally hired a consultant. I paid them big bucks, at least big bucks for me back then. It was like $10,000. She literally interviewed me for, I would say, almost over 2 months, 60 hours. And I believe that she was pregnant back then. So it's like she was pregnant, and I felt like, I was birthing something new. And literally that was a feeling, right? And so over 2 months, 60 hours, and she literally took everything out of my head and then turned it into a step-by-step, our very standard operating procedure, first SOP, company-wide, essentially. First, there's only 2 people, right? And from there, we started, essentially, that became our journey to actually hire our first media buyer, right? And first media buyer, I just happened to find them on Upwork. Back then, it was easier. And, again, I feel that this part I just happened to find the first person who was right for us. And he's now acting as a media buying director. So that was my journey in terms of, starting hiring the first person. And after literally for the first 3 months, I asked them, hey, can we find more his name is Victor. Can we find more Victors in Macedonia? He happens to be from Macedonia. Can we find more Victors in Macedonia? And he said yes, like 2 days later in the email. Back then we were still using email versus Slack. So, that was my journey. And then now we have a team of 26 members over there. We are constantly growing. Every quarter we hire anywhere between 10 to 12 members. If they go through the 90-day cycle, first 30 days is essentially internal trainings. After that, they are paired up with junior media buyers, and then they start, working side by side with them. They learn by them seeing what they do, and they start getting little tasks. Second month after that, they start getting paired with senior media buyers. So that's the 3rd month, 1st month training, 2nd month junior, 3rd month senior media buyer. And then at the end of the 3rd month, we actually do what we call exit interview. That means that this is a process where we say, okay, hey, we have 90 days spent together. Obviously they get paid, but we'll essentially push them out of the company. And what we do is, if we like them or if they like us, that happens in about 25-30% of our out of 12, we typically get 3 to 4. So every quarter we are growing our team, by that, and that's been phenomenal journey for us. So we are obviously increasing our capacity, and since we are focusing on multiple different channels, we have started creating different pods. Like, we now have a pod for the Meta, Facebook and Instagram. We have experts who are focusing on Google and YouTube. We have experts who are focusing on TikTok, Pinterest, whether it's Outbrain or Taboola, native platforms, or any other alternative platforms like Jang or StackAdapt or any other DSPs we run campaigns on. So that's what we've been able to do just by going all in, and that's a process we have taken. So if you are agency owner, and if you want to do this, let's say in SEO, or if you want to do this in media buying, you need to do all of that if you want to build the team internally, right? So that's a process. We have taken it, and it has taken us 8+ years to build this process. So there's a huge value for our clients. And this is where I think this is our USP. And then the biggest thing is the building the culture. What we have done, I know at Dot and Co, you guys have great culture. We actually are using, your CAMs, and that has been, by the way, if I can share this with the rest of the agency owners who are listening, I'll tell you this, folks, in 15 years of running a business, I've never taken a vacation 30 days long, ever. 7 days, yes. 10 days, 2 weeks, yes. But 30 days. Last year, after hiring our CAM, I think back in February last year, for the first time, I actually let go of that part of the work, I guess, because I felt that my clients needed me. But what I realized was actually they don't need me, and they don't need me to be on the call. They need me to feel safe and secure about, okay, yes, there's a process. Yes, the team is handling everything. And then I still do quarterly calls with our clients, strategy calls with our clients, but it's just once a quarter, one call with client. I mean, it's easy to handle compared to every single week I was doing calls with all the clients. That was unbearable, right? And especially when you have the volume we have. So I hired Dot & Co client account manager, and then that shifted everything. My wife, myself, both of our kids, all 4 of us, we went to India for literally 30 days. And I was still a little nervous for the first 2 days. I did not jump on any of the calls, but the first 2 days I did listen to the recordings of the call Cam was doing for on our behalf. And after listening to the first 2 days, I was like, okay, I think she got this. I don't need to worry about this. And then since then, I did not even listen to any of the calls. I did not jump on the Slack communication. It was phenomenal. I mean, that was like the best trip we ever had in 30 days. And since then, like, I feel like this is big weight lifted off of my chest, right? And again, building a team or having an outsourced solution like Dot & Co, I think it's phenomenal. Those are the 2 ways I would suggest the agency owners, kind of build their team, that having a solution which is not essentially in-house, but they work as in-house person, right? Or I guess white label, private label, right? Whatever you want to call it. Or you build a team in-house. But as you can relate to this, finding people, training them, grooming them, and then most important thing is retaining them for a long time. In the current cycle we are in, it's very, very difficult to keep the people on. I feel fortunate we have longevity in our team. As I've told you, Victor has been with us since 2014, 2015, and it's 2023. And, we have senior level, we have 4 senior media buyers that all been with us 5+ years. Our juniors are getting up to like 2, 3+, 4 years. So we have this long bench of, people working for us for all this long time, and that doesn't normally happen, right? If I talk to my other agency owners, other agency, friends, they all have people issue. Like, there's a revolving door policy, 5 months, 6 months, they're all gone. And then, they have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. So I feel blessed because of finding the right talent, training, culture. That's what we have built. And that's why, we are able to do what we are doing with our clients.
I love that. So one of the biggest things that agency owners say to me is oftentimes they're still in the sales role. So I don't know if you've kind of gotten out of that sales role or not, but they say, okay, I might be speaking with a client. They trust me, Janak, to talk about their business, talk about strategy. How do I transition that over to someone else? Maybe that's a media buyer, maybe that's an account manager. How have you gotten through that? Because I think that is one of the biggest things for agency owners when they're thinking about bringing in a team to run their ads or for strategy or account management.
That's a great question. And this is more of a mindset issue than anything else. And then the way we have resolved this is by creating a very strong onboarding process. So you as an agency owner, typically you build the trust in the first call with them, right? You might be doing some sort of discovery call. You might be doing some sort of strategy call. You get to know about their business, what are their goals, where they are right now, where they want to go, figure out the gap. So you build all that trust with them, right? And then while you are talking to them, the biggest thing you need to do is not me or I. The biggest thing you need to talk about is we as a team. So you have to, from the very first time you start having conversation with, it's not about me, it's about, my team. So when you are telling them, when you are quote unquote selling them, I hate the word selling, is because you're not selling. You're essentially having a conversation, and then you are figuring out what their true desired hope, challenges, problems are, helping them along the way in terms of figuring out whether, for an example, in my case, in the 45 minutes I do spend with client, I really help them understand, should they spend money on advertising? And then B, if they want to spend money on advertising, how to think about spending money on advertising? And C, are they ready for it in terms of infrastructure? And then if they're not ready, what do they need to like? So it's really an educational call, right? And then they just, just mind is blown, right? So that's what we are doing in 45 minutes. I'm assuming that you are also doing something similar. And in that case, the next step is just transferring that authority, transferring that security, or I guess trust within your team, and that happens immediately after they sign up with the onboarding process. In my opinion, you have to do a very quick call right after they purchase. That's what we do. We obviously do, we send them gifts and everything. All of that is just a side benefit. But then the biggest thing is welcome process, onboarding process, and then how quickly you are jumping on the call and re-engaging with them and making sure that, they have made the right choice. And this can happen through, in our case, it happens through now client account manager, and or, if you have a media buying team who is senior media buyer, or someone who's actually acting as media buyer on your behalf, have external team that might be helping you. They need to jump on a call to make sure that the client feel comfortable. So that's what we have done. And then making sure that whatever you promise them within the first month, that happens. So, and then the trust builds over time. Like, there's initial trust, but then the retention happens over time. In our case, we tend to retain our clients. Our normal agencies who are media buying, they tend to retain their clients like 3 months, 4 months. In our case, our retention is 14 months, right? So that's a vastly different range. Now, not everybody stays 14 months, that's an average. So we have clients where they stayed with us like 4 or 5 years. And we have clients, they move on after 6 to 8 months, and that's fine too. We're okay with that. We cannot serve everyone. And after working with a client, we realize that this may not have been a great fit, and that's okay. But everybody who moves on, they are very satisfied with the level of service we have provided. They also know that, this was a mutual decision, right? And then C, in some cases, they want to bring everything in-house as a media buying, and that's fine too once we scale their campaigns. So yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. And that's how I describe it too, is like, you can't be talking about I on the call. You have to talk about the team, and then how you transition that, what the first 30 days look like. That is so crucial. And then over time, it's all of the things that you're doing that lead to retention. So now the agency owners know that it's not just on them. They can outsource different areas. Let's talk about how you guys have developed that IP and how other agencies can actually tap into that, because I think so many agencies are looking for media buyers and talent. Most of them don't need to bring in full-time media buying teams like you have. So how can they tap into your IP, your team of experts, and allow them to scale quicker because they utilize you guys?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I've talked about how we have gotten to now, right? So based on the journey we have taken of, last 15 years, we obviously have built a lot of processes, and, I used to call this as a broken windows. So we have figured out where the broken windows in the company, and we have plugged those holes, or, fixed those broken windows. Now, we believe that our process is very streamlined. We believe that most of our clients who just jump on board, they're pleasantly surprised by A, at the speed, B, at the accuracy, and C, just the overall professionalism we exude in the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, right? And then that's why the retention is very, very high. So, we obviously have that built. And I'm starting to notice, a lot of my agency friends, who are either, generic digital marketing agency. They might be providing SEO work or email marketing, or they might be providing, creative agencies. Their clients are asking, hey, do you do media buying? Or their clients may be seeking that help outside. And you have two choices. One is A, you can refer, to other partners, or B, you can say, yeah, we have started providing this as a service now. You can tell them we have in-house experts who do this, right? And then that's what we provide. So we actually provide what we call wholesale media buying services to other agencies. It has to be a fit, right, with those agencies. And what I've seen is there's a demand for agency owners who are not good at what we do, right? But they're really good at the rest of the things. They might be good at funnel building. They might be good at website design. They might be good at SMS marketing, email marketing, and they might be good at overall branding, marketing strategies, right? But they're not good at this media buying piece, and they can bring that in, and now all of a sudden, they can increase their profitability by charging them more. Overall retainer grows, and then biggest important thing for me is how can we increase the retention of the client, because that's one of the biggest struggle most of the agency owners have. How can I retain my clients longer? Two ways to retain your clients longer. A, deliver results. And then with the paid media, we deliver results, right? We have to, otherwise we are not in existence. So, and the second thing is by providing more and more of their entire marketing, needs, right? So by providing more, you get to be in a longer life cycle, right, with the client, because you might be 1 month, you might be doing website designs. Next month, you might be doing, a specific promotion for email, or maybe you're doing SMS marketing, maybe you're doing another funnel, maybe you're driving traffic, promoting an event. Like there could be multiple different things you would be doing. I believe that that's what the media buying brings to the table, where, hey, you don't have to build this entire team. You can hire, clients online / scale media team. And then essentially you can literally offer them, tell them, hey, listen, we provide media buying services on Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok. Hopefully TikTok stays, right? And then also native platforms, if they are running any sort of risky offers like CBD offers or CBD gummies or anything like that, which is not traditional network would not allow to run it. We can also have there are alternative networks as well where we can run those offers as well. So really, there's a lot of choices, and all of a sudden, without doing anything, just by partnering with us, they can now essentially charge more money, right? And then create more profitability because they don't have to do any management, no drama, right? We have a seamless process. We plug in just like we plug in with our clients, we plug in with our agency clients, and it's a very seamless process. And it becomes very easy for our agency partners.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, as an agency owner, you have to get out of your own way sometimes. And I think, when it comes to specialties like media buying, like that could take your whole day.
Yeah.
Easily could take your whole day, especially if you're trying to offer different services and you want to learn the best that's going on in the industry. Like if you could just outsource that, you can scale so much quicker. And, Janak, you've done this, I've done this. It makes the most sense when you can actually tap into a team who has proven results, who has proven SOPs and processes, and you can just literally go turn around and sell that to your clients. It's a no-brainer. So I love this offer. I think every agency owner should definitely figure out how to work with you guys because it makes so much sense. And that, it's such a pain point for our clients, agency owners. So that was kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on to really showcase, that there are options out there and that it doesn't have to be so hard. So tapping into resources like Clients Online and Scale Media, you can definitely scale your agency a lot quicker with less risk, right? You don't have to hire all these people. So yeah, I'm totally on board.
Absolutely. And then, biggest thing is you have to know what you are doing. Number one, right? You have to learn that first. Then, you have to hire the right team members, and then you have to make sure that they are delivering it. You have to have the managerial oversight, and then you have to do client management, the campaign management, right? You're already doing client management. So client management is not really a big benefit, but the campaign management itself, all you're doing is just plugging us in, and then all of a sudden you now have another profit center for you. Yeah.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, Janak, where can agency owners learn more about you guys and get access to this wholesale media buying?
Sure. Yeah. So the best thing to do is to go to scalePaidAds.com. It's SCALE paidads.com. And then there would be a form. Just fill it out, and then it will actually lead you to scheduling a call with me. Or you can find me on Facebook. Janak Mehta is JANAKMEHTA. Hit me up. You can send me a messenger, or same thing on Instagram. Message me, and we can have a chat about this.
Love it. So scalePaidAds.com.
Yep.
Awesome. And we will link that down below. Janak, thank you so much for coming on. I learned a lot. I loved learning about your journey, but most importantly, the pain points that agency owners are suffering with on the back end. So thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks, Taylor, for inviting me. And this has been a phenomenal conversation.
Cheers to happy clients.